Hello you wonderful people and welcome to Unravelled, where I turn a tangled mess of yarn into something that looks half decent, I guess. First I need a crochet hook, and I have quite a lot of crochet hooks. I did think about using this massive crochet hook to make a life-size unicorn, but then I was like, I do have to pay for this myself, so the trusty 3mm hook it was. Today I'm making a unicorn. Everyone knows that unicorns are white, so I'm making it blue. I figured that unicorns live in castles in the sky, and so to be perfectly camouflaged against that big blue immense expansive thing, blue would be a pretty good camouflage. So anyway, let's crochet. So currently Edward is just a figment of my imagination, so to begin bringing him to life I need to, well, make a magic ring to summon him. Magic rings start out as a piece of yarn wrapped around my fingers, and then I double crochet into the circle to make his little booty. I like to start off making the body first because it sets the proportions for the rest of Edward, so I don't end up with a unicorn with legs that go all the way up. So I've researched the diet of unicorns, and it's essentially just candy floss, sugar, cheesecake, pretty much a lot of sweet things. So I decided to make Edward's body thin, the body of somebody who eats a lot of sugar and never puts any weight on, because we all know one of those people. I kind of based his body off a jelly bean, you know, jelly beans that are bean shaped, basically a bean, a sweet bean. After the magic ring I increased to make a little disc, and now I'm just going around and crocheting just standard double crochet, and then once it's wide enough I start to decrease. So in a second I'll show you how to do the magical invisible decrease. To decrease invisibly, this means to work in the front loops only, so first we go into the front loop of the first stitch and then into the front loop of the second stitch before double crocheting the whole lot together. To show that again, we go into the front loop of the first stitch and then into the front loop of the second stitch, yarn over, pull it through these two loops, yarn over and pull it through the next two loops. One last time, front loop, yarn over, through two, yarn over, through two. Now, back to the body. I've been working straight whilst we've done that little side quest. You can see it's a little longer than it was before. The body's gonna be kinda long, and then I'll be using the infamous invisible decrease to make a lovely neck piece. Bug. Edward is in need of a large head to house his big brain thoughts. For this I'll need a contrast colour. What colour goes with... oh, looks like they've thought of something. No, none of those colours. What are you thinking? Go and get something else. Yes, that'll do nicely. A magic ring is usually my favourite way to start anything in the round, really, but I wanted Edward's head to be slightly squished. And if you want a slightly squished circle, you need to start with a slightly squished shape. So I crocheted maybe 5 chains and then started crocheting around it. This part of his head will be his muzzle, so the mouth end I guess. I increased by double crocheting into individual stitches twice, evenly around the forbidden pancake, until I had some kind of disc. Edward's face isn't going to be all muzzle, he will have some kind of contrast, so I need to start making it blue. To change colour, usually to get an even line you would crochet into the back loops to get the line on the front, but I completely forgot to do this, so I am crocheting into the front loops. In the end, it actually turned out quite nice. You can see it doesn't look like a line, it looks more like hair, and inside you can see what the line would have looked like if it was on the outside. And now I'm decreasing again so Edward can keep all of his thoughts inside his head, where they should probably stay. Before I close his head completely, I need to stuff it full of that delicious snow. Oh no, I didn't offer you any tea when you arrived. Whoops. Next it's time for some tap dancing hooves. I crocheted flat a hoof kind of shape, and then I crocheted around this to pretty much negate what I'd just done. I did try and salvage Edward's feet a little bit by doing some shaping as I went around, and it kind of worked. Time to work on those lovely long legs, and for another colour change. Time for more forbidden candy floss to stuff his arms and legs with. Edward fancies himself as a bit of a modeller, so time for some more pipe cleaners that I've bent in half and stuffed as a rudimentary skeleton, let's face it, so he's at least a little bit poseable and not a stiff robot. Castles in the sky can get quite chilly, so I got out my double pointed knitting needles to make him some clothes. But knitted? Hang on, this isn't a knitting channel, undo that right now. Maybe that was a bit harsh. Anyway, when you're already behind schedule, this is probably not the best time to start learning a new crochet stitch, but that's exactly what I did. This one is called Tunisian Crochet, and it's basically like knitting except with a crochet hook. It makes these lovely little squares as well, which is, it doesn't look anything like knitting to be honest, but it is nice. I think this took me maybe 6 attempts before I was finally sort of happy with how it turned out. My original plan was to make a hoodie, but then I ended up making this instead. It's a sleeveless and collarless vest, because Edward is a trendsetter. A unicorn is essentially a horse, but with extra decoration. So we need to make some long chainy bits for a tail. Here's the finished tail. Quick, catch it, it's getting away. Never mind, Edward appears to have sat on it whilst doing his morning yoga class. Or was that his dance class? Anyway, horn-wielding horses also need a mane. This method is a latch hook method that you use when you're making rugs. Basically, I'm just pulling the yarn through crochet stitches to make, well, hair. I'm really excited to announce it's time for Edward to make his debut. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, it really means a lot to me. As always, please let me know what you think of Edward down in the comments. I'm really excited to get started on my next project, which is a cute little character I think you might recognise. So I hope to see you all later for more Unravelled chaos.